everybody. I'm Mr. John Taylor. We are Video Music. Hello, John. How you doing? From Rick.
Hello there.
Good to see you. Listen, let's start off straight away with I Do What I Do and 9.5 weeks. How did you get involved in 9.5 weeks?
It was a funny set of coincidences, actually. I'd read about the film and I'd seen some photographs from it. I'm a big Mickey Rourke fan anyway, and you know, I admired the way Adrian Lyne shot Flashdance, and so I was kind of interested in it, intrigued with all this censorship that was going on. This is like last July, and within the same week of me reading an article about it, Michael DeBar, who I was touring with on the Power Station too, was approached to write a song. They said, we'd like you to write a song along similar lines to Obsession. Yeah. So we said, yeah, let's do it, you know. And I called a friend of mine, Jonathan Elias, who I'd worked with on Video Kill, because after having worked with like such a big band, the Power Station was a big band and it was a lot of people to organise. Yeah. I really wanted to do something really self-contained and you know, using synclaviers, you know, heavy computer keyboards and stuff. I mean, apart from the saxophone, it's all synthetic instrument. So I was never going to sing on it. That was not the intention at all. Michael was, but it just didn't work out. You know, Michael's a bit of a rock and roller, and I wanted something a little bit more moody. And we went through 3 or 4 singers actually that all tried it at different times, and it ended up with me and Lisa Del Bello. I don't know whether you know her. I think she's had a reasonable amount of success in Europe. And it was me and her, and we were going to do a video. Adrian Lyne was going to do the video and everything, and that seemed pretty cool because I wasn't really ready to release a solo single. And she pulled out because she didn't want to be associated with the film, apparently.
What? Because she thought the film was a bit, you know...
Well, she had a song in the film originally, and they pulled it out. So she decided she didn't want to be associated with it. She didn't mind her voice being on, but she didn't want to be in the video, and blah blah blah. So I thought, well, enough of that. I might as well do the lot myself. It was, you know, it's like all of a sudden I was faced with my own single. And,
in fact, you've done a lot yourself. I mean, you've even produced it, haven't you?
Yeah, it's the first one. Well, I've been involved in a lot of things before in the studio that, you know, haven't really been credited. You know,
is that right?
Yeah. Well, you know, just me and Jason, actually, you know, we've usually ended up mixing things, whether it was A View to a Kill or Arena and stuff. And so we got things down pretty pat in that respect. But no, I never really meant to sing it. It's just that, you know, people around me were saying, well, listen, if I was getting very frustrated, and they said, well, you think you know, you're so bloody clever. Why don't you try it? And you know, I closed my eyes and thought.
Talking about View to a Kill, you were also the one responsible to get the initial hook for that.
Well, I'm a bit of a hustler.
You rang him up.
I'm a bit of a hustler, you know, actually. Yeah. No, I didn't ring him up. I saw him at a party, you know. And the old mouth was going 100 miles an hour at the time, and I've always wanted to do a James Bond soundtrack. Yeah. It's a little bit of movie legend, you know, and to work with John Barry was, you know, a real honour. The recording session itself was a bit up and down. It took us a long time to get it together, but no, it's nice because it's, as I say, it's kind of movie legend. I also think musically it's terrible, isn't it?
Did you
it's Sunday! No respect.
Perhaps you park your car back
And
there.
he was saying, well, listen, if I was getting very frustrated, and they said, well, you think you know, you're so bloody clever. Why don't you try it? And you know, I closed my eyes and thought of England.
Wham, bang, here it is.
And films is that I think, you know, I mean, acting should be done by actors, and I think I've yet to find a musician who makes a good actor, or makes a, you know, I mean, other than being exaggerations of themselves. People do ask me a lot, and they did want me to audition for it.
First question I wanted to ask about Power Station is, I mean, it was very much an American launch, right? It never came to Europe, or, well, Italy.
Well, it was...
Why is that?
It was, I guess it was my little celebration of New York. And I wanted to do something that, you know, I just moved there, and I wanted to do something that kind of encapsulated the spirit that, you know, of what I saw going on there. It was a one-off deal. We were only ever intended to make one record. We did actually record the album. I mean, we started in Paris. I mean, it was recorded all over the place, but it was the wording, the Power Station across the front really relates to the sound emanating from the record rather than the people that are on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you know, there's, you know, that was just like, you know, that was chapter 4 in
And
JT's history.
what happened to Robert Palmer? When you were going out on tour,
Yeah.
he didn't come along.
You better ask him, I think. He decided not to. 2 days before we were supposed to start rehearsals. Well, we better replace the singer, you know, and to prove the fact. And I think we did. It was a much more raunchier version that suited the live situation more.
Well,
I
it's
think.
a successful tour, wasn't it?
Well, you know, yeah. I mean, it could have been more successful simply because people just, I think that they thought, there's no way, you know, you can replace a singer 2 days before a, you know, rehearsal and get away with it. But Michael did admirably. And I think, on reflection, I don't think Robert would have really known what to do with a lot of the Duran fans in the audience, you know, making a lot of noise. He's not really used to that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. What about working with Bernard Edwards?
Yeah, that was good. That was good. It was interesting after working with Niall. You know, he's very, very different. And, of course, Bernard had influenced me. I really never picked up a bass before.
Yeah.
He gave, you know, he made me work, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. A lot of people, you know, still say to him, hey, come on, you know, that's not really John playing on the record, is it? It's you. But he was great to work with. I mean, I'd like to work with him again.
Right.
I mean, he did, you know, it was great because we were right in the middle of doing View to a Kill, and we were having a lot of trouble. We weren't using a producer, and you know, they'd started on the Arcadia project, and we thought, well, we've got to have a producer, because actually Niall was going to do it, and he backed out. And so we said, what are we going to do? We need a producer. So it was like Alex Sedke, Bernard Edwards, Alex Sedke. You know what I mean? It was like with the Arcadia set when he did.
All right, yeah,
And like, you know, Bernard was chosen. You know, which was odd, really, because
that successful choice, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so too. Yeah.
What do you think though about? I mean, do you reckon that Arcadia had a bit more Arcadia, I should say? It should be more promotion than Power Station, or what? Do you think that the Power Station's been left a bit aside, especially in Europe, or what?
We never really meant to do any. It wasn't. I didn't want to make a. It wasn't about making a piece of product, really, you know. We just weren't into doing that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we did some shows because that was what it was very much. There was nothing contrived about the project. It was about spirit, and to be quite honest, it was this simple. It was like 4 mates who thought, why don't we go and make some music together? It was like a nouveau riche garage band.
That's a good way of explaining it. Anyway, come on, just before we come on to your single, and you think, what about Duran Duran? Everybody is obviously wanting to know what's going to happen, the next step for Duran Duran. What's everybody doing at the moment?
Well, now, I think we're all getting kind of excited about getting back together. 6 months ago, I had no interest in it. I'd completely lost interest. I thought, I don't see what, you know, I can learn from it. I don't see, you know, blah, 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 blah. But, like now, I'm very excited. You know, you have to make records for very selfish reasons. You can't make them for any other reasons, and however much the record company wanted us to make a record, my parents wanted me to get back together, the fans did. We'd been together for, like, me and Nick have been together for like 6 years.
Long time.
And it was, you know, the last 4 years have been ridiculously hectic, you know. Now I think we all want to get back together, and we're all excited about it, and that to me is the right reason for doing it. So, you know, as soon as Simon gets back off his boat, we're going to be getting into it. But Nick and Andy have already done a little bit of work together, and I'm going to be working with Nick in April. So, you know, we're starting to pull in the reins.
Nick and Andy, what, they're in Los Angeles?
Well, they were there for about 4 days, yeah. They did do something.
So we'll be seeing it coming out. And what about seeing, you know, Duran Duran come to Italy? Any chance, do you think?
Well, I think we've got to, haven't we, really?
I think so. Yeah.
I think next.
Well,
I've been trying to figure it out. I mean, all things being equal, if you know, I don't want to do the kind of tour we used to do, one of these 6-month things, but I think like about 30 big shows around the world. I think like next spring, summer next year.
Good. Well, look, anyway, after this first solo project, I Do What I Do, any ideas for another one, a follow-up?
Well, I mean, it seems to have been quite well received.
Yeah.
And it's given me a kind of newfound confidence to do it. It's nice because I'll always want to make records independently at Duran Duran, because I just can't. I mean, I like playing bass as a member of Duran Duran, but creatively it's rather unsatisfying. And so now I'm quite glad, because I now know I haven't got to bring in a singer to do the job, and I don't have, along with his agent and manager and lawyer, and all the rigmarole. So you know, there will be an album of my own,
Good.
but not before a Duran one.
All right, so that's the first priority is Duran Duran, basically, on that. Listen, just last question, a bit of gossip, you know, the usual kind of number. You've been going out for a while with modelistas for, you know, the fans here in Italy called Renee. I mean, any chance of marriage there, seeing as you're one of the last to go?
No.
No chance?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not yet.
Okay.
She keeps asking me, but I say no.
There's still a hope for everybody out there, then. Still a hope for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look, John, thanks a lot, and good luck.
Grazie.
With the things.
Hi, I'm John Taylor. You're watching Video Music, and this is my new single. It's called I Do What I Do.